Hello and welcome to today's episode of TSARP. I'm your host, Andrew Weir, and today we have a very special guest.
Hey, my name is Jonny Burger. I am from Switzerland and I am the creator of Remotion, which is a framework for making videos programmatically.
So, what made you want to start doing coding and technology and stuff?
I started coding when I was around 16, and it started when I won an iPhone from a lottery. It was like a big coincidence, and I realized that I could think around just by making apps for the iPhone using like a hacked Windows machine, and that's when I wrote my first lines of code.
Hmm. That's really cool. Yeah, it sounds like it was like just a bunch of luck, and then it made this whole new career. Um, that's really cool. So, you want to tell us a little about Remotion, the JavaScript framework you made?
So my first attempt at programming was to create an iPhone app for watching music videos. I don't know if it was also the case in your country, but here in Switzerland, you were not able to see the music videos on YouTube. And I've kind of found a creative way to hack around that by directly linking to the URL on the streaming service. So it was a bit of a sketchy app, and I could also not put it in the App Store, so I put it in the jailbreak App Store instead. But that was my motivation to make it possible to listen to music on an iPhone more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, everything started with that one iPhone, just broke into what you do now, and yeah, that's cool. So like you were saying, like, what did you think of coding? Like, did you think you wanted to do something in the technology space before you started, like before you got that iPhone?
Initially, I actually wanted to become a video editor, or more specifically, design motion graphics. And as a kid, I played around a lot with After Effects and similar programs and trying to create simple animations. And then I got into programming, and I'm very lucky that today I can combine the two.
Hmm. Yeah. So you always want to do something with computers and stuff, and it just ended up being coding and stuff. So that's cool. So did anyone like really talk about it like back then? Like was anyone like, "Oh yeah, that's what I want to do," or was like it kind of just like no one thought about doing it as a career? Like what was it like?
It wasn't as present as it is nowadays, definitely. I think I was one of the only ones who was programming, and I don't remember having any friends at my high school who would do something similarly. So, and I was also from a rather small town in Switzerland, and it was more than 10 years ago. So it was different times. And then I managed to do a trip to San Francisco, and only then I realized that, wow, this is a city full of people who do the same thing. And it was also the first time I realized that there is a massive industry behind it and that I could turn this into a career.
Yeah, and where did you learn your skills?
So back then, before there were uh, AI chatbots, it was all Googling. And I I would say I'm 95% self-taught, but I also went to university and studied computer science there. So that helped me refine certain skills as well.
Mm.
So, I have one question. What? Where did you go to get your computer science? Or I don't know how to say that correctly.
So I got my degree at the University of Zurich. This is also the city where I still am. It is a decently sized university, and a pretty good one. But to be honest, the thing about university is that they teach concepts in class that were practical maybe a few decades ago. So it is really about algorithms, shifting bits, how databases work, low level programming languages. And I feel like what is nowadays on someone's mind is to develop apps, develop pretty user interfaces with very different technologies that are being taught in university. So that's the reason why I am saying that the practical skills that I got were not from university. They were from Google and Stack Overflow.
Yeah, I've heard that before, that a lot of the concepts taught there are like just not what are used in the field and outdated. But it's interesting to hear it from someone, like one on one that, went and found the same thing. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so you a lot of Stack Overflow searching and Google and I'm guessing, YouTube videos, and now you know your skills. And tell us kind of like the languages and like what is used for your current project and stuff. Like what's your main language of use?
My main language is definitely JavaScript, and it has evolved into TypeScript now. This is just what I am most proficient in, and it's kind of cool that you can hack together so many different things very easily. By far the most powerful and dynamic language out there. But for 2023, I'm also dabbling a bit in Rust because my project is about video encoding, and this is a very compute intensive process. And having just JavaScript in my stack means that we are leaving a lot of performance on the table. So going forward, I will also be coding some Rust, especially the performance sensitive parts.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's always good to have like a Swiss Army knife of different languages, that and are able to just like someone say, okay, do this, and you're just able to go. Um, and yeah, we talked a lot about JavaScript recently, but yeah, you can really just use it for anything and do whatever you want, from computer apps to web apps to iPhone apps to Android apps. It's all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there one framework you like the best? With JavaScript?
React is my favorite by far. I know that it is not the easiest, and that there are now other frameworks coming up who simplify React a bit or make it less hard to use. But I like React because it is the closest to JavaScript. So it's a very thin layer on top of JavaScript for describing UIs, and still not so much unopinionated. So essentially, I like it because it lets me write everything in JavaScript.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big debate over different, frameworks. But from I think what I've heard the most is definitely React. And like you said, there's always more coming, and more, revolutionizing the space. But yeah, definitely, I think React is one of the most.
Yeah, there's also a benefit in choosing the most popular one because there are just many resources for it out there.
So are there any final things you would like to say, or and guys, do you have any more questions?
I do not.
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, actually. So since you say this is a kids podcast, I thought about how I approached the whole thing as a kid, and I realized that your philosophy for how you approach programming changes a lot when one is growing up. And maybe if I can share it a bit here, it would be fitting. So you know, when you are super young, I would say this was me maybe 10 years ago. Then you only care about building, and you do not yet have that many duties in life that you have to do. So you can do any projects. But then as I got older, as I got 20, as I got 25, I realized that okay, now it's getting more duties are coming in life, and I have to get a job. I have to finance myself. I have to get my own apartment. Some people also get a car, and the spending increases and increases. And it feels like for many people, as it becomes more of a profession, the fun is decreasing a bit. The more they are increasing their spending, and later in life, maybe you get a home and kids, and then you need a really good software engineering job. So I've kind of made this transition from just doing programming for fun to kind of making it a profession. And I've never been so much about like having a nice car or living to a high standard. My way of enjoying things was just being as free as possible. So right now I am very happy that I can do my own things, even though it is not the most profitable way. So I was just thinking about when you're growing up, you have like different choices. Do you prefer earning a little less and trying to build your own things, or do you want to take a serious job and focus on other nice things in life? And that's only one thing that I realized later when growing up, that there are different paths one can take, and all of them are fine. Yeah, just wanted to share a bit my experience of becoming an adult.
Yeah, that's a really cool perspective.
It
Yeah,
is,
because definitely right now it's like, coding's fun and we do it in school, but we also do it, because we like to, and we make games because they're fun. But yeah, I can definitely see how you said, like, as you grow up and need to get more focus on the work for your job and stuff, it could become more just about getting money than and a profession than having fun and stuff. But
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
interesting hearing it from like an adult perspective, like because we're just kids and that's all we hear. So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely cool.
Which honestly is super good. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
yes.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for everyone who listened, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.
Bye bye.